For my country report, I decided to do Mexico because I'm not really familiar with them as a whole country and I don't really know a lot about their education system, so I figured I would learn some more about it while doing my presentation on it. I know this PowerPoint may be a little difficult to see, so when I post the video, I will go ahead and attach the PowerPoint as well. Brief history of Mexico. Mexico gained their independence from Spain on September 16, 1810, and Mexico is made up of 31 states and one federal district. Mexico is the third largest country in Latin America and currently has a population of 130 million people. Mexico's capital, Mexico City, is the country's biggest city with 9 million inhabitants. Mexico's full name is United Mexican States, and like the United States, they have their government system is democracy and republic, and 89% of the population are Christians and they are Roman Catholics. And as we can see from the previous slide, Mexico has 3 colors on their flag: green, white, and red. And the green represents hope and victory. The white stands for purity of Mexicans' ideals, and the red brings to mind the blood shed by the nation's heroes. Some other fun facts on Mexico is Mexico has the 3rd largest population of Spanish speakers in the world. At nearly 2,000 miles, the border between Mexico and the United States is the 2nd largest in the world. And Mexicans comprise the largest group of legal immigrants in the United States today. Mexico's educational system. They have 3 different schools, so it's primary and secondary schools, which primary is known as elementary school to us, and that starts at age 6 through age 12, and it consists of 1st grade through 6th grade. And preschool and kindergarten act as the same in Mexico, so the state starts at age 3 through 5, and there are many different modalities offered in Mexico in their primary schooling: general, bilingual, bicultural, community education, and adult education. And the classes are 20 hours per week, so typically the same as us. They have a little less because we go 6 days a week, or we go 5 days a week for 6 hours, so just a little less than us. 1st and 2nd graders spend 45% of their class time studying Spanish, and 3rd through 6th grade only spend 30%. And their grading system is a little different than that in the United States, as they get numbers 1 through 10, and 6 is the passing, which I thought was kind of odd because usually you would think 5 would be passing, but in Mexico, 6 is actually passing. And their secondary schools is divided into 2 levels: lower secondary education and upper level secondary education. The lower levels consist of 3 grades, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and Spanish is still studied greatly, as well as mathematics. And the upper level mostly consists of technical professional education. Lower secondary education consists of 3 grades, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and the upper level serves many options for students, but they must have completed school grades 1 through 9 to attend. The upper level education has 3 cores: basic training, professional training, and work training. The upper level trains qualified professionals in a variety of fields, and technical upper secondary, which offers the opportunity to obtain professional technical degrees and prepare students to continue on to higher education. So that's a lot different than the United States because we don't really offer that. We basically are just going to class, and they are actually, it's preparing them to go work out into the real world. And this is just how their educational system's set up. So we have the primary, the secondary, the middle school, and the high school, and it just breaks down the different levels. The literacy rate in Mexico is 94.7 94.47%, and males happen to be more literate than females by a little bit. As we can see, 95.5% of males are literate in Mexico, and 93.5% for females. Teacher education in Mexico is typically the same in the United States, as you have to have a degree, you have to have your teaching certificate. It's different in Mexico, as in the United States, if you are ESOL certified, you can go ahead and go teach English over there. Becoming an educator in Mexico, like I said, is similar. The degrees and certifications are very similar, and you can actually, they have a program where if you're from the United States or somewhere else and you want to go ahead and come to teach in Mexico, some of them are the same, but sometimes you do have to take other courses and to be able to do that. To teach at a university level in Mexico is actually very difficult. It's very competitive, and you must have your master's degree at the least. And being a professor in Mexico is known as the highest paid profession in that country. Teachers typically make $2,000 a month. And then next, I labeled some differences between Mexico and the United States school systems. The differences is in Mexico, they follow a national curriculum standard, and then in the United States, we follow a state curriculum standard. And we have taxing authority here. They're non-taxing. We have a superintendent in the United States, and they actually have something called an inspector. We call elementary school elementary. They call it primary. And primary school is 1st through 6th there, and it is kindergarten through 5th here. And in Mexico, which I thought was interesting, is they have 2 different sessions, morning sessions and afternoon sessions, whereas we just have the typical 8:30 to 2:30. Some similarities between the 2 school systems is they're both free. They both have public and private. It's state funded. They get free textbooks, and their classes are offered to teach different languages, and they are supported by the governors. And then at the end, I just provided some pictures. This is a map of Mexico. These are some of the Mexican dancers. These are just some people in Mexico. That's the pyramid that they're very known for. And then here's just a building, a city in Mexico. And then I have my resources. And like I said, I know it's a little difficult to see, so I will provide the PowerPoint in the video description.